It seemed like he had fallen for this clueless girl. The next day at work, he purposely asked Kpop, "Why didn't you answer the phone?" Kpop made up an excuse that it was too noisy to hear it. And when they finished work, the heavens also created an opportunity for the two to face a situation where there was only one umbrella. Muyol took the initiative to put his arm around Kpop's shoulder and walked her home. When they were almost home, Muyol still couldn't hold back and spoke first. "Kpop, do you still like me now?" Kpop replied, "I don't like Muyol anymore now." Muyol sighed after hearing that and said, "I'm screwed this time because I've already fallen for you, but you don't like me anymore." Kpop quickly explained, "I was just kidding, actually I still like you." Muyol then asked, "Kpop, will you go out with me?" Although it was still raining outside, at that moment, the sky in both of their hearts had cleared up. After waking up the next morning, Kpop felt as if she had just experienced a dream. She couldn't tell if last night was real or an illusion. Just as she was getting ready to change for work, Muyol surprisingly gave her her umbrella. At this point, Kpop didn't know what to do. Muyol then took Kpop's hand. In that moment, Kpop realized that all of this was real. The girl who had social anxiety had never experienced love before. After dating her boyfriend for a month, Kpop bravely gave him her first kiss. But how could her boyfriend stop there? He felt like he had only just reached the level of elementary school student. Kpop felt like they had not known each other long, and she was not yet ready. Muyol then seriously asked, "Kpop, when will I be able to go to college?" "In 3 months. "In 3 months?" After saying that, Kpop shyly ran home, leaving Muyol with a distorted expression. Kpop was also a good student. As soon as she got home, she grabbed her phone and Googled. It is often said that love is a spectacular thing, not to mention an office romance. From the moment Muyol entered the salon, his eyes never left Kpop. This made Kpop, who had social anxiety, feel very awkward. Coincidentally, while everyone was having dinner, Kpop unintentionally brought up an academic topic that Muyol was interested in. How long does it take to go to bed after dating? The moment the words left his mouth, everyone fell silent. Muyol, speechless, immediately stepped in, using Kpop's supposed drunkenness as an excuse to defuse the situation. On the way home, Muyol was consumed with self-reproach. He had only hoped for their relationship to progress a little faster, but he hadn't expected to place such immense pressure on Kpop. He suggested that in the future, Kpop could directly ask him about any academic-related matters, without needing to seek opinions from others, because their relationship was between the two of them, and others couldn't possibly understand or interfere. Despite saying this, that night, Muyol unexpectedly didn't see Kpop home. Kpop thought he was angry with her, but Muyol simply said he was extremely tired today. After the bus started moving, Kpop anxiously took out her phone once again to Google the signs of a man being upset. The next day at work, Kpop was, as usual, the first to arrive at the hair salon. Seeing Muyol arrive, she immediately grabbed a hairdryer to dry her hair, because for 2 mornings in a row, Muyol had unexpectedly hugged her from behind while she was drying her hair. But today, Kpop waited and waited for that unexpected hug, and it didn't come. Just as she was searching for Muyol's figure, Muyol emerged from the changing room. Kpop could clearly sense his distant and cold attitude. To alleviate the tension between them, Kpop suggested going to see a movie together that evening. Despite being lovers, they were acting like strangers, not speaking a word to each other. Kpop was also lost in thought on her way home, feeling like a person who had lost her soul. Facing a love that was hard-won, she wondered if she had done something wrong. In reality, Muyol wasn't being cold towards Kpop, but he was well aware that his and Kpop's personalities were polar opposites. If he was too enthusiastic and forward, he was afraid that Kpop wouldn't be able to adjust and accept it. Kpop also wasn't against Muyol's enthusiasm, but she was afraid that she would become completely immersed in it. However, facing Muyol's coldness also made her feel confused. Now, she understood what Muyol meant when he said, "I don't want to date someone who's never been in love before." Later, Muyol told Kpop, "Actually, being together is mainly based on feeling and comfort. not having so many rules. As for Gi BBM, after being enlightened by Muyol, she seemed to have resolved the knot in her heart. Then, she quietly closed her eyes, looking at the adorable Gi BBM in front of him. Muyol leaned down, responding passionately. The next day, while at the hair salon, the director rushed home because her 8-year-old daughter was home alone with a male classmate. The reason for the director's anxiety was that in their recent chit-chat, she had learned that the age of children engaging in secret physical encounters was getting younger. Furthermore, there was a saying, boys and girls should not sit together after the age of 7. This made the director think about her daughter at home. But when she arrived home, she saw the 2 kids only playing checkers. The director breathes a sigh of relief, her heart filled with complicated emotions. She felt both that she was overreacting, and that statistics don't lie. The director was about to secretly watch what the 2 children were doing when the boy noticed her. The director quickly changed the subject. Despite this, the director was still uneasy about the 2 kids at home, so she texted her eldest daughter, hoping that she could come home to look after her younger sister. But the eldest daughter had extra classes until 8 o'clock, and it was almost time for the director's afternoon appointment with a client, which made her even more worried. As she was wondering how to solve this problem, an idea suddenly came to her: take the children out to buy snacks and see a movie. Meanwhile, at the hair salon, Su Rai was anxiously pacing back and forth, because the client had been waiting for more than an hour, but the director hadn't arrived yet. After a while, the director returned to the salon and hastily apologized to the waiting client, rescheduling the appointment for the next day to completely alleviate any concerns. The director decided to have her youngest daughter go for extra classes, but the youngest daughter flatly refused to go. The eldest daughter then comforted the director, saying that her younger sister was still young, and there was no need to force her to take so many extra classes, adding to her stress. But the director was thinking about her past. She had her eldest daughter at 20, but divorced her husband at 23. A person's life could be ruined in just a moment. However, these words from the director infuriated her eldest daughter. The girl felt that she was born and had ruined her mother's life. The director's words made her eldest daughter feel that her mother regretted giving birth to her and that she had wasted her own life because of her. At that moment, the director received a phone call from her youngest daughter's father. It turned out, her youngest daughter had called her father to complain, saying that her mother didn't care about her feelings and was forcing her to take extra classes that she didn't like. The father also said that no one in the family had any talent for academics, and there was no need to force their daughter to study. The director then became angry, saying that if he felt she wasn't raising her properly, then he could raise her himself. The father quickly explained that he didn't mean that, he just came to check on things because his daughter had called. At this moment, the eldest daughter's father also arrived. This scene made everyone feel awkward. After a brief greeting, the youngest daughter's father drove off. The eldest daughter wanted to be independent, so she asked her father for help finding an apartment to move out on her own. It turned out, the eldest daughter's father was there because of this. After arriving back home, the director scolded her eldest daughter. The conversation between the two was not pleasant. The director then took out her anger on her youngest daughter. Faced with the tense mother-daughter relationship, the director felt helpless. The next day, the director still called her youngest daughter, reminding her to go to her ballet class. After saying goodbye to her male classmate, the youngest daughter sat in the car and burst into tears. Because she really didn't want to learn ballet, but when she saw the other ballet students wearing such beautiful outfits, it made her curious. When she arrived home, she kept showing off to her mother. Although she had resolved the issue with her youngest daughter, the issue with her eldest daughter still made the director's head ache. At this point, the director felt very helpless, but she didn't know what to do. Although she was young and naive at the time, it was still a living being. She was a mother. How could she abandon her child? When the eldest daughter came back home, seeing her mother sleeping in her room, she was deeply touched. It's just that, both mother and daughter are stubborn, neither willing to back down. In this situation, the youngest daughter broke the tension,